Success won't solve this problem. Self-neglect. Welcome to the Way of Permanent Transformation. My name is Stanley Bronstein, and today I want to talk about a problem that success cannot solve. Self-neglect. Most people think success will solve their problems, and to be fair, it solves many of them. Success can help you make more money. Success can create opportunities. Success can give you more choices. Success can remove certain forms of stress. Success can make many parts of life easier. But success cannot solve everything. And one of the biggest problems success cannot solve is self neglect. In fact, success can sometimes make self neglect harder to see. You can be successful and unhealthy. You can be successful and exhausted. You can be successful and lonely. You can be successful and unhappy. You can be successful and still be neglecting the most important person in your life, you. That may sound strange. After all, if you've worked hard, built a career, raised a family, grown a business, or achieved goals that once seemed impossible, how could you be neglecting yourself? Because success and self care are not the same thing. Success and balance are not the same thing. Success and excellence are not the same thing. Many people spend decades building a successful life while slowly neglecting the life they're building. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to postpone yourself? You postpone exercise, you postpone rest, you postpone hobbies, you postpone relationships, you postpone personal growth, you postpone joy, you postpone taking care of your body, you postpone taking care of your spirit, you postpone living. And the excuse usually sounds reasonable. I'll do it after this project. I'll do it after I retire. I'll do it when things settle down. I'll do it when I have more time. The problem is that life rarely settles down. There's always another project, another responsibility, another challenge, another reason to wait. Then somehow 10 years passes, then 20, then 30. One day you look in the mirror. The body is not what it used to be. The energy is not what it used to be. The excitement is not what it used to be. Some relationships are not what they could have been. Some dreams are still sitting on the shelf, waiting for someday. And suddenly a question appears. What price did I pay for my success? That is where things become uncomfortable because self neglect always has a price. The problem is that most people do not receive the bill immediately. If they did, they might change sooner. Instead, the costs accumulate quietly. A little less energy, a little more stress, a little less patience, a little more frustration, a little less joy, a little less enthusiasm. Nothing dramatic, nothing that demands immediate attention, just small compromises repeated over and over again until one day the accumulation becomes impossible to ignore. Sometimes the cost shows up in your health. It shows up in the body you promised you would take better care of someday. The body that carried you through years of hard work, sacrifice, responsibility, and achievement. The body that kept showing up for you while you kept postponing taking care of it. Sometimes the cost shows up in relationships. A marriage that slowly became more distant, friendships that quietly faded away, children who grew up while you were busy building a future for them, people who wanted more of your presence and less of your productivity. Sometimes the cost shows up in your spirit. Life becomes little more than a collection of obligations. You have places to go, things to do, problems to solve, responsibilities to manage. But somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling fully alive. You stopped feeling excited. You stopped feeling connected. You stopped feeling engaged with your own life. And perhaps the saddest cost of all is unrealized possibility. Not because you failed, but because you became so focused on one area of life that other important parts never had the opportunity to grow. The hobby you never pursued, the dream you kept putting off, the adventure you never took, the relationship you neglected, the person you might have become. The tragedy is that these losses rarely happen all at once. They happen gradually, quietly, almost invisibly, which is exactly why self neglect is so dangerous. By the time we finally realize the cost, years may have passed. Now, let me be clear, I'm not against success. I believe success is a good thing. I believe achievement is a good thing. I believe building a business is a good thing. I believe providing for your family is a good thing. I believe creating a better future is a good thing. The way of excellence is built around growth, improvement, and achievement. But there's something else we need to understand. The problem is not success. The problem is what we sometimes sacrifice in order to achieve it. Too many people pay for success with the wrong currency. They pay with their health. They pay with their relationships. They pay with their peace of mind. They pay with their personal growth. They pay with their spirit. And eventually they discover they made a trade they never intended to make. One of the principles I teach in the way of excellence is balance. Not perfect balance, but practical balance. A life where your mind, body, and spirit are all receiving attention. A life where one area is not consuming everything else. A life where success is part of the picture, but not the entire picture. Unfortunately, success often rewards imbalance. Work harder, push harder, stay later, do more, sacrifice more. And for a while, those choices may produce results. But every imbalance eventually creates consequences. Those consequences may not appear today. They may not appear next month. They may not appear next year. But eventually they appear. Life keeps score. Relationships keep score. The body keeps score. One of the greatest dangers of self neglect is that it becomes normal. You adapt to it. You get used to being tired. You get used to putting yourself last. You get used to postponing important things. You get used to saying maybe next year. Eventually, what should feel abnormal starts feeling normal. And once something feels normal, we stop questioning it. That's a dangerous place to be because you can become comfortable living far below your potential. The good news is that self neglect is not a life sentence. If you can see it, you can change it. But change begins with honesty. Tell it like it is. Not better than it is, not worse than it is, just the truth. Where have you been neglecting yourself? Your health, your relationships, your growth, your purpose, your peace of mind, your spirit? Don't look for 10 answers. Look for one, the area where truth is the clearest. Then ask yourself what I believe is one of the most important questions in the English language. Are you willing? Not do you wish, not do you hope, not do you intend, but are you willing? Are you willing to start walking? Are you willing to improve your eating habits? Are you willing to reconnect with someone important? Are you willing to make time for something that truly matters? Are you willing to stop postponing your own life? Because willingness is often where permanent transformation begins. Many people think they need motivation first. I disagree. Motivation comes and goes. Willingness is more important. Willingness says, I may not feel like it, but I'm willing. I may not be excited, but I'm willing. I may not have all the answers, but I'm willing to take the next honest step. That is how lasting change happens. not through giant dramatic transformations, but through small positive changes repeated consistently over time. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond, this lesson matters because success is no longer the only question. The question becomes, how do I want to live? What kind of person am I becoming? What will the next chapter of my life look like? Success can help you build a life, but it cannot live that life for you. Success can solve many problems, but it cannot solve self neglect. Only you can do that. So let me leave you with a challenge. Identify one area of self neglect in your life, just one. Then identify one action you're willing to take this week to begin correcting it. Not someday, not next month, but this week. Because the goal is not simply to become more successful, the goal is to become more excellent. And those are not always the same thing. Success won't solve this problem, but willingness, responsibility, discipline, commitment, and action just might. That's the way of permanent transformation. If this message speaks to you, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. New videos are released on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and you can learn more or contact me on my website, thewayofexcellence.com.